It's never about one individual. It's about what each individual does as part of our system to create the most influential form of learning for kids.
And every single kid that I saw in the hallway came up to me and was like, "Hi, welcome. Can I have a hug? Can I do all this?" And I'm like, wow, this place is certainly special.
One of the things I've learned is that there's more than one right way to do things. In other words, the way that I grew up is not the only way to be. There are a lot of right ways to be in the world.
You're listening to the NAESP Principal Podcast. School leadership is second only to classroom instruction in its impact on student learning. While teachers directly influence students through daily instruction, principals influence learning across the entire school. Each year, NAESP recognizes outstanding pre-K through grade 8 principals from across the nation through the National Distinguished Principals program, honoring their contributions to their communities and to the education profession. These voices you'll hear in this special episode come from the members of the 2025 class of National Distinguished Principals. These reflections were shared during a ceremony in Washington, D.C. Research on how principals affect students and schools, including the study How Principals Affect Students and Schools, a systematic synthesis of 2 decades of research by Jason A. Grissom, Anna J. Igalate, and Constance A. Lindsay, identifies 4 key behaviors that shape strong schools: engaging with teachers on instruction, creating a productive school climate, forging collaboration, and managing resources and personnel. Rather than presenting full speeches, this episode brings together reflections that illustrate those behaviors in practice through the lived experiences of principals leading schools across the country. In this first section, we focus on one of the core behaviors of effective school leadership: creating a productive school climate, a place where students and adults feel seen, valued, and safe. For many of these principals, that work begins with belonging. From Brian Koreshki in Connecticut.
In 2017, I went to Skinner Road School, and I just tore my Achilles. And I didn't even take the job yet, but before I got there, I got to tour the school, and every single kid that I saw in the hallway came up to me and was like, "Hi, welcome. Can I have a hug? Can I do all this?" And I'm like, wow, this place is certainly special. So after time, we had a mission statement. It had about 17 commas in it, so you know how that goes. So we decided to come together with my instructional leadership team, and we were building this mission and all these beautiful things, and then out of it just came 4 words. And those 4 words were love, care, trust, and value. And every day since then, 9 years later, that's all we've cared about.
From Ginger Crockett in Alaska.
When I was told that I was an NDP, my reaction was, what? We live in the middle of the Arctic. Nobody notices what we do up here. So I have to say that living up there and having the experiences as a principal has made me really a better person. One of the things I've learned is that there's more than one right way to do things. In other words, the way that I grew up is not the only way to be. There are a lot of right ways to be in the world.
From Ashley Farrington in Minnesota.
My journey from the small but mighty islands of the Bahamas to the frozen tundra of Minnesota has been full of purpose. From a young age, I believed education was the gateway to a brighter future. I used to sit on my porch helping neighborhood kids with homework, what my mom called running a neighborhood school or taking all of her money. There were tough times, stories that would take more than 2 minutes to share, but through it all, I became who I am today.
From Dr. Matthew Wentworth in New York.
We create smaller communities within our larger community in the school around the values of courage, gratitude, forgiveness, and compassion, which is our SEL program from Choose Love. I'm fortunate to work with faculty that are full of creativity and heart. They bring bold ideas to life.
From Amanda Spite in Missouri.
In my heart, I am a people person. I love the people, and I believe that connection, community, and celebration have the power to not only transform schools, but lives as well. My leadership centers on creating spaces where every student, staff, and family member not only feels like they belong, but that they matter. Because when people feel that they matter, they bring their very best selves to the table.
Another essential dimension of school leadership is managing people and resources well. That responsibility carries weight, not just in policies and systems, but in deeply personal moments that test endurance and resolve. From Matt Miller in Pennsylvania.
During the summer of 2024, my commitment to the value of significance was tested when I traveled to Liberia, Africa, with a school mom who was a Liberian native. Together, we traveled the country for 3 weeks, delivering materials and resources to the children and schools of Monrovia, Liberia. Throughout the journey, I blogged and sent video messages back to the U.S. so my community could follow the adventure and students could learn from my journey. Our message of significance was felt on both continents. Finally, during that same year, my mom and dad were both diagnosed with cancer 4 months apart. My world was rocked, and I tried to make sense of how this could happen. While most of 2024 was a blur for me personally, we battled together, and receiving the news of this award was a huge morale boost for my family.
From Patrick Sershin in Tennessee.
First and foremost, I give all honor and glory to God. See, I'm not supposed to be standing here. My 4 years as an assistant principal in 2016, I had a heart attack, so I shouldn't be here. So every opportunity, every lesson, and every blessing in my life is a reflection of His grace. See, from the time I was a child, I've carried a servant spirit, a heart to serve my friends, my family, my church, my community, and my school. That commitment to service has guided every step of my journey.
From Fanny Green in Mississippi.
Being a school leader is not about titles. It is about people. It is about seeing potential, building trust, and creating spaces where every child knows he or she matters. Every day, my teachers and I walk into Camden Elementary knowing we have the power to change lives, and that is our number one purpose.
From Dr. Fred Hewitt in Tennessee.
Principals live at the intersection of vision and reality, where policy meets people and belief becomes action. We don't just manage buildings. We create spaces where learning takes root, where lives are transformed one student at a time. And when we do it right, it is not loud. It's steady, relentless, and lasting.
From Susan Gray in Kansas.
You know, how many times have you been asked, what do you do as a principal? What do you do? And people outside of education, it's hard to understand and it's hard to explain to them what we do each and every day. A principal sets the tone in a building. They lead by example. We give to others, and sometimes that's 24 hours a day. I walk in the building in the morning early, one of the first ones in, to make sure we have subs. I don't know about you, but in our neck of the woods, sometimes that's difficult. And then we usually end the evening with a sporting activity or some sort of school activity.
Effective principals engage directly with teaching and learning. They support teachers, model presence, and shape the daily culture where instruction happens. Leadership shows up not only in strategy, but in relationships. From Stan Stokely in Alabama.
Every morning I try to do exciting morning announcements, and it sounds like this. Good morning, Sarahland Elementary School. Today's Thursday, October the 23rd. Today for lunch we're having Salisbury steak, mashed potatoes, and gravy. Tastes so good, make your tongue slap your brain. Tomorrow we'll have pizza. I'll go on and do the announcements, and I'll end like this. Let's have a great Spartan day. Let's make good decisions out there as we live above the line. I do this because I think it's important for the principal to bring energy and excitement to the school every morning. You need to be the most excited learner there. Todd Whitaker, in his book called What Great Principals Do Differently, has a line that says, when the principal sneezes, the school catches a cold. I do believe that.
From Elise Zafiro in Virginia.
There's a quote I love. We never know the value of a moment until it becomes a memory. And I'd like to share one of those moments that became a memory I will never forget. Earlier this year, I was recognized by the Prince William County School Board. My husband was in charge of bringing the kids to central office for the event. Now, I had one job, just stand there and look composed, and he had one job, get the kids there on time. As I waited, I heard the unmistakable click, click of heels echoing down the hallway. I turned around, and there was my daughter, proudly strutting in a pair of my high heels. She was walking like she owned the place, and also like she might fall any moment. In that moment, standing in front of the board, I realized something powerful. Being a principal isn't just about leading a school. It's about shaping futures. And there she was, my daughter, literally walking in my shoes. It was clumsy, it was adorable, and it was a reminder of the impact we have, not just on students, but on everyone who watches us lead. This job has its challenges. Some days feel like a fire drill that will never end, but never forget the influence we have.
From Dr. Andra J. Penny in Texas.
My job, and I fully believe this, I was called, as many of you have said, but I have about a 25-minute drive into town, much to the disdain of my staff, because that gives me 25 minutes to think of crazy things for us to do when I get there. And they're going, oh, God, I wish you did lived across the street, but I don't. So I have an opportunity to think of wonderful and fun things for those kids to do and our teachers to do. I'm so blessed. But my job, and I fully believe this, is when I enter that building every single day, that I'm bringing joy. And I know that if I focus on Jesus first, others second, and you, that'd be me, last, then I really am bringing joy into that building. And then I have to encourage those teachers on some of the worst days, you look for joy. And it could be the worst joke that the kindergartners tell you, you know they do, or anything, and you find it and you rub it in because you were meant to be there.
From Julie Hatchell in California.
Truth be told, I'm probably a little too goofy to be a superintendent or even to sit at a cabinet level position. And I'm going to show you that here today. I'm going to ask you all to stand up. You're going to engage with me for just a second because you know that's what we do as elementary school principals. And I'm going to ask you to go like this. Let's go. All right. Keep it up. My name is Julie Hatchell, and I'm here to say we're supporting kids together the El Moro way. We value student voices and their choices too. Committed to improvement, that's just what we do. Our RTI is stellar. We don't leave kids behind. There's joys in our work, more than a daily grind. Our climate and our culture surpasses all the rest. We grow stronger as a unit when you put us through the test. We love to share best practices down by the ocean blue. We promise you'll be edified by what we do. And lest I leave the Willard without a note of thanks to my sea lions, my family who brought me through the ranks. And thanks to God for all he's done. He's blessed us from above. And thanks to you for helping with my rep. I hope you felt the love.
From Kathy Cooper in Nebraska.
But honestly, every student I've ever taught or led, whether I was their English teacher or their principal, are a part of the same big blended family that I'm so proud and honored to serve. I may not have given birth to them, but I've definitely lost sleep over all of them. So if you ever find yourself driving through Nebraska and happen to stumble upon a gorgeous school rising up from the rows of corn, you found us. I hope you stop in. We'll show you what it means to educate with heart, humor, and a whole lot of community, and we'll probably offer you a casserole because we're Nebraska. So I'm honored to be here with all of you celebrating. Thank you.
In our fourth section, we explore how strong schools are never built alone. Forging collaboration among teachers, families, and communities is central to lasting school improvement. Leadership at its core is shared responsibility. From Andrea Gilbertson in Wyoming.
As we celebrate together today, I want to honor all of you, the distinguished principals from across this great nation. We are the ones entrusted to shape futures, to nurture communities, and to tend the fields of possibility, planting seeds of hope, growth, and learning that will outlast all of us. And that work is not easy, but it is sacred.
From Dr. Manya Criddle in Louisiana.
My incredible staff and students are the heartbeat of our school. The energy, curiosity, and resilience inspire me every single day. My families and friends and community partners who support us reminds me that education is a shared experience and journey. And together we are game changers. We got game. We got goals and motivation that equals success. In a world full of players, we are game changers. This is our declaration that we chant daily. Being a school leader is not always easy, but it's always worth it. I'm currently in an awesome position where we are getting a brand new school.
From Brittany Rhodes in New Mexico.
My passion for leadership comes from a place of absence, from growing up without anyone telling me I could be more, no one opening doors for me, and that is why I lead the way I do, with empathy, with high expectations and a hand to push doors open for my students. To every principal here today, we don't just run schools, we shape futures. We lead with heart because we know what's at stake. Every child deserves to be seen, believed in, and given a chance to rise.
From Janelle Bear in North Dakota.
We service a large area of poverty children. 80% of our children are Native American, but it is awesome. Our kids need us every single day. I am here not because I did anything great, but because my staff and my students are wonderful. And I'm talking about from the custodian to the secretaries, to my teachers, to my paraprofessionals, and then of course to our kids. We tell our kids every day that we love them. It is nothing short of amazing what they can do.
From Kathy Davis in Washington State.
The poem I wanted to share to close today is a poem by Margaret Wheatley called Turning to One Another. And to each of you who exemplify leadership and finding ways to turn to the people around you and keep pushing forward to dream dreams worthy of the brilliance of the students we serve, I share this poem today. There is no power greater than a community discovering what it cares about. Ask what's possible, not what's wrong. Keep asking. Notice what you care about. Assume that many others share your dreams. Be brave enough to start a conversation that matters. Talk to people you know. Talk to people you don't know. Talk to people you never talk to. Be intrigued by the differences you hear. Expect to be surprised. Treasure curiosity more than certainty. Invite in everybody who cares to work on what is possible. Acknowledge that everyone is an expert about something. Know that creative solutions come from new connections. Remember, you don't fear people whose story you know. Real listening always brings people together. Trust that meaningful conversations can change your world. Rely on human goodness. Stay together.
These reflections come from principals across the country, recognized for their leadership and united by their commitment to students, schools, and communities. Research shows that strong school leadership shapes student learning, school culture, and long-term success. The voices you heard today illustrate how leadership is practiced every day in schools across the nation. We hope you enjoyed this special episode of the NAESP Principal Podcast. To learn more about the 2025 National Distinguished Principals, visit naesp.org. If you enjoyed this episode, Subscribe and share it with a colleague. Together, we're building stronger schools and stronger leaders.